Look, what does it say that Anthony Albanese is negotiating with Palestinian leader Mahmoud Abbas before he's even met with the President of the United States?
Well, I think that the remarks of the Prime Minister last week when he was asked about whether or not he was going to consult with the President of the United States, not only was it puzzling, but I think it's very troubling. And I think it highlights the key issue here, Gabriella. Now, look, there's a lot of politicking around here. There's a lot of, is this symbolic? Is this going to help the Palestinians? Was this a good decision? Was this about votes? Was this about the left flank? All of that is really not as important as the deterioration in the relationship between the United States, our key and most important strategic partner. So the tone of the Prime Minister's response as to, well, I'm not going to consult with the President because we have our own sovereign foreign policy, but he was just on the call with Starmer multiple times, with Macron, with President Abbas, with other leaders, including Luxton of New Zealand. So the Prime Minister was very proactive in making phone calls to certain leaders and unwilling to make phone calls to others. I think this is a very, very troubling development. And the decision yesterday to announce Australia's upcoming recognition of Palestine is clearly at odds with the position of the Trump administration, and with other key aspects of that alliance being discussed right now, such as the AUKUS review by the Pentagon, and also continuing economic and trade issues with tariffs and whatnot. Also last night, with Chris Uhlmann's new show, you had a lot of Australian military and defence experts warning of the potential of war to come to our shores. I think the Australian public, Gabriella, needs to wake up and see that this type of foolish pursuit by the Prime Minister is hampering and deteriorating very important relationships with other partners.
The Prime Minister was doing the breakfast TV rounds this morning and he didn't seem that prepared. Take a look.
Hamas don't support two states, they support one state. In their own words, from the river to the sea, from the Jordan River to the ocean.
To the ocean. I mean, it's the Mediterranean Sea, and he sounds like protesters at college campuses that we saw going viral on the internet that had no idea what river, what sea.
Look, I think your viewers can make their own judgments and determinations on that little slip from breakfast TV this morning. But what I will underline is that this is an incredibly historic and complex conflict. It is not something that leaders can just fly in and fly out and think they can wave a magic wand and rid the world of a conflict that has been going on for longer than 7 decades. This is not something that the symbolic gestures of Western leaders or the pronouncements of premature recognition of a state that doesn't exist is somehow going to end the war, end the conflict, and we're all going to live a happy day. It's completely devoid of any type of appreciation to what is important in the region and the complexities of the problem. And I'll sum it up like this, Gabriella. Not one Palestinian life was impacted this morning when they woke up to the decision of Prime Minister Albanese's announcement. When Australia ultimately recognises in September, the lives of Palestinians will not change one iota, which means that all the political capital that's expended, all the potential deteriorations of the strategic relationships, especially with the United States, will all be ultimately for nothing, for a foolish pursuit on something that is not going to actually make any material benefit to the people in the Middle East. What needs to happen is very simple. The world needs to exert pressure on Hamas to lay down their arms, release the hostages, and end this war once and for all. If Hamas is to do that right now and right this second, Gabriella, the war is over. We all live to fight another day, and then we can talk about the pursuit of the two-state solution then. Now it is premature, and unfortunately, even if there are virtuous intentions and good intentions behind this pursuit, and even if the Prime Minister and Foreign Minister think in their hearts of hearts that they, as self-professed non-players in the region, are going to usher in an era of peace in the Middle East, unfortunately, they are mistaken. And putting all your eggs in the Palestinian Authority basket historically shows you that it is going to end in tears.
Joel Burnie, Executive Manager at AIJAC, Australia, Israel and Jewish Affairs Council. Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks, Gabriella.